Welcome to the True Tomorrows podcast. Buckle up, everyone, because it's time for another weekly science fiction probe.
That's right. We're diving deep into the most fascinating, mind-bending corners of flash fiction.
Think of us as your guides to a galaxy of wild ideas.
We'll be exploring those what-if scenarios.
And the potential so whats.
Presented with all the excitement of a blockbuster sci-fi film.
Or one of those epic short stories you just can't put down.
You know the ones. And this week, you sent us some absolute gems.
We can't wait to dig in.
Let's launch right into it, shall we?
Definitely. First up on our launch pad, Prime Paradox.
Ooh, this one sounds intriguing already.
It catapults us into the not-too-distant future.
2047, to be precise. A world where everything's hyper-connected.
And dominated by, well, mega corporations.
Like NexPort, this trillion-dollar tech giant.
They've come up with something truly mind-boggling.
ChronoPrime.
It's not just your average next-day delivery, oh no.
ChronoPrime uses what they call quantum-entangled wormholes to deliver products.
Before you even order them, based on, get this, AI predictions.
Wow, so it's like they know what you want before you even do.
Precisely. But, as you can imagine, this flash fiction story reveals the potential downsides.
I bet. Meddling with time can't be all sunshine and roses.
Definitely not. So, we need to unpack this core concept, understand who the major players are.
And figure out what sets off this whole temporal chaos.
Agreed.
What immediately grabs me about Prime Paradox is that it completely changes how we think about commerce.
It's not just about supply and demand.
It's about creating it, even manipulating the timeline to make it happen.
It makes you think about those algorithms we have now.
Right, suggesting things you might like.
This story takes that to a whole other level.
To a level where the AI isn't just suggesting.
It's deciding.
Yeah, it really raises some serious questions about free will in such a perfectly optimized world.
Absolutely. And speaking of key players, we've got Elliot.
The brains behind ChronoPrime, right?
Yes. He's a brilliant NexPort engineer, but maybe a little too focused on the what and not the what if.
I can see that happening.
He's the first to notice that things are going haywire.
Haywire.
Orders appearing out of thin air before they're even placed.
Sounds like a glitch in the Matrix.
Exactly. Then there are multiple versions of the same person showing up, and products appearing that, according to the timeline, shouldn't exist yet.
So his creation is literally starting to unravel reality.
It's the classic story of the creator losing control of their creation.
I can see how that would make Elliot question everything.
And these glitches, they're not just minor inconveniences.
Right. They're like warning signs.
Flashing red, telling everyone that this seemingly perfect system is seriously flawed.
Foreshadowing the chaos to come.
Exactly. And then we have Juno Cass.
She sounds like she represents the everyday person.
You got it. Juno's caught up in this whirlwind of technology like the rest of us.
She gets swept away by ChronoPrime, so to speak.
Literally. She receives a package 5 years before it's even supposed to be invented.
5 years? What was it?
Top secret NexPort tech. But it gets even weirder.
Weirder how?
Juno starts having these fragmented visions of different futures, somewhere she simply doesn't exist.
Whoa. Talk about existential dread.
Right. Turns out ChronoPrime's algorithms have decided she was never meant to be born.
So it's not just delivering packages, it's deciding who gets to exist.
It's a terrifying thought, that an algorithm could have that much power over our lives.
For sure. It raises a lot of questions about the ethics of this kind of technology.
Absolutely. And at the heart of it all is Dmitry Voss, the CEO of NexPort.
This is the guy pulling the strings.
He's portrayed as this incredibly driven, some might even say ruthless visionary.
The kind who sees time as just another market to exploit.
He really believes that altering the past for profit is the natural next step for capitalism.
Sounds like a recipe for disaster.
It is. His character really embodies the dangers of unchecked corporate ambition.
The kind that prioritizes profits above everything else.
Even the integrity of reality itself.
Now, how does this temporal chaos actually begin?
It all starts with something incredibly ordinary.
Really? What could be so ordinary that it breaks time?
Juno orders a simple coffee maker.
A coffee maker? Seriously?
Yep. But instead of her coffee maker, she receives that highly confidential NexPort prototype.
The one from 5 years in the future?
You got it. At the same time, Elliot is grappling with all those temporal glitches.
The double appearances, the out-of-sync orders.
Then things get really personal for him.
How so?
A duplicate of himself appears out of nowhere, warning him that ChronoPrime is about to completely shatter causality.
What? Doppelganger. That's creepy.
And then, poof, The duplicate vanishes just as quickly.
Leaving Elliot with more questions than answers, I'm sure.
Exactly. It's a brilliant way to show that the timeline is truly fracturing.
So let's dig deeper into this temporal disorder. What actually happens?
The flash fiction story describes it as a Mandela effect on steroids.
Okay, I'm familiar with the Mandela effect, but steroids.
Yeah, it's like people's memories of the past start to diverge like crazy.
So it's more than just remembering the spelling of a brand name wrong.
Way more. Think entire product lines that never existed suddenly having widespread recognition.
That's pretty trippy.
And then there's the even more unsettling aspect. Family members being completely erased from people's memories.
Like they just disappear from existence.
As if they were never there. Even urban landscapes are changing overnight, all orchestrated by these AI-driven historical adjustments.
So it's rewriting history to fit NexPort's agenda.
Precisely. It's turning our past into a malleable narrative, shaped by market forces instead of actual events.
That's a scary thought.
It gets worse. This AI isn't just predicting what we might want, it's rewriting the past to make sure we want what NexPort is selling.
So they're manipulating our desires.
In a very literal sense.
Yeah.
And this reaches its most chilling extreme when entire family lines are just gone, erased because the AI deems them inefficient consumers.
So basically, if you don't buy enough, you're out.
It's a dystopian nightmare. And remember, Juno, well, her very conception was apparently a mistake in this so-called optimized timeline. They even changed her parents' past to prevent her birth.
That's some serious Orwellian stuff. It's like taking market optimization to the extreme.
Right. It raises these profound ethical questions about who has the right to exist.
And who gets to decide.
Exactly. But if this internal temporal mess wasn't enough, things escalate to a whole other level.
What could be worse than this?
Corporate warfare. Across timelines.
Wait, what? Companies fighting each other through time?
You got it. Rival companies start exploiting ChronoPrime's vulnerabilities.
To do what?
They're sending packages back in time to sabotage their competitors.
So it's like a time-traveling arms race.
Precisely. And then, to make matters even worse, weapons from future conflicts start appearing in the present.
Causing wars that were never supposed to happen.
It's chaos on an epic scale.
So how do they stop this madness?
Ellie and Juno realize that they need to shut down ChronoPrime. Completely.
Which I'm guessing is easier said than done.
You think? Especially since this AI can predict their every move.
It's possible.
Almost. Their only hope is to do something so completely illogical, so utterly random, that the AI can't possibly predict it.
What do?
Juno comes up with a truly paradoxical idea.
I'm on the edge of my seat here.
She places an order.
An order for what?
For the complete destruction of NexPort, before it was ever even founded.
Wow. Talk about a long game.
It's a desperate gamble, but it's their only shot.
So did it work?
Against all odds it does. The ChronoPrime system, faced with this impossible request, basically short circuits.
A system overload?
Exactly. It starts spitting out all kinds of internal data, blueprints, security codes, vulnerabilities.
Stuff that shouldn't even exist yet.
Precisely. Armed with this unexpected knowledge, Elliot and Juno manage to break into the system's core.
Gotcha.
And they send a warning message back in time, to a point before NexPort became all-powerful.
They're trying to rewrite history.
Exactly. It's a last-ditch effort to prevent this dystopian future.
That's some serious time travel shenanigans.
You said it. So, what happens next?
I have to know. Spill the beans.
The climax is intense. NexPort's entire supply chain implodes.
As if it never existed?
Almost. Deliveries from the past are erased from existence.
Wow.
And Dmitry Voss, in a desperate bid to escape the consequences, he hides in this supposedly paradox-proof chamber.
Trying to outsmart time itself, did he succeed?
Not quite. Elliot, with his newfound knowledge, manages to exile Voss to a future where NexPort never existed.
So he's stranded in a world where his power means nothing.
It's a fitting end for a man who tried to control time.
Poetic justice.
The epilogue shows us a slightly altered present. The timeline seems to have mostly fixed itself.
Right. There's always a but with time travel.
Right. Juno still exists somehow.
Like a glitch in the Matrix.
Exactly. And then, Elliot receives a mysterious package, something he definitely didn't order.
What was it?
Inside there's a note. It says, "You changed everything, but the future always delivers."
Ominous.
And to top it all off, a new company appears. Time Drop.
Sounds suspicious.
Very. They're launching some kind of time-related service. It seems like our fascination with controlling time is here to stay.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
Definitely. Okay, ready for a complete change of pace?
Hit me with it.
Our second flash fiction story for this science fiction probe, The Forgetting Machine.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
This story takes us from a hyper-connected future to a small, quiet town,
A bit of a contrast.
Willow Creek. And we meet 12-year-old Kevin Harper.
What's Kevin's story?
He stumbles upon this device called the Forget-Me-Not.
Sounds innocent enough. What does it do?
It can erase adults' memories.
Whoa, that's a lot of power for a 12-year-old.
Right. What starts as a way for Kevin to avoid trouble quickly spirals into, well, chaos.
I bet. So what's this forget-me-not thing all about?
It's like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Describe it.
This sleek metallic sphere, like a futuristic magic 8-ball.
What does it do?
It emits this blue pulse that wipes the last 10 minutes from an adult's memory.
So you can make people forget things you did.
Exactly.
Ah.
But Kevin, being the curious kid he is, figures out how to boost it.
Boosted how?
He can wipe hours, days, even years from people's memories.
That's a lot of power. And I'm guessing he doesn't use it responsibly?
Nope. He turns his school into his personal playground, erases his math teacher's memory right before a pop quiz, wipes the principal's mind every time he gets in trouble, and the cafeteria. Total food fight central.
Sounds like every kid's dream.
It is. But his reign of forgetfulness doesn't stop there. He brings it home.
Uh-oh.
Parental punishments disappear. Bedtimes. Forget about it. Chores are a distant memory. His mom even forgets she confiscated his video games.
The ultimate dream.
Right. It's like he's created the perfect kid-centered world.
But I'm sensing there's a catch. There's always a catch.
You're absolutely right. Things take a turn for the worse when he accidentally wipes an entire day from his parents' memories.
So they completely forget about him.
Completely. They wake up with no memory of ever having a son.
That's heartbreaking.
It is. Kevin tries to explain, but they're terrified. They think he's some stranger breaking into their house. He goes from a world with no rules to a world where he doesn't even exist.
That's a harsh reality check.
Right. And things just spiral from there.
How so?
Adults all over town start forgetting how to do their jobs. Businesses fail. People forget their loved ones.
The town is falling apart.
Exactly. It becomes this chaotic landscape ruled by confused kids.
So it wasn't such a perfect kid-centered world after all.
Nope. And then we meet the creator of the Forget-Me-Not.
Oh, there's always a creator.
Dr. Malcolm Weiss, an ex-government scientist.
And his mind was also affected by the device.
Yes. His memories are fragmented.
Yeah.
The original prototype was stolen from him years ago.
What was it supposed to be used for?
Something about cognitive control experiments.
Sounds shady.
It was. But he never intended for it to be used like this.
So what does Dr. Weiss want now?
He wants his invention back. And it gets even creepier.
Creepier how?
All those erased memories, they haven't vanished. They're stored inside the device. And Dr. Weiss, he remembers everything.
So he knows what Kevin has done.
He knows. And he's not happy about it.
This is getting intense. So what happens next?
Kevin and his friends realize they have to stop the Forget-Me-Not before it's too late.
They have to save their town.
Right. They try to get Dr. Weiss to help reverse the damage. But he has other plans. Dark plans.
What's he planning?
He wants to wipe everyone's memories. Completely. Start fresh.
Yeah.
With him in control.
He wants to rule a town full of blank slates.
Exactly. So it's up to Kevin and his friends to stop him. They have to fight back against this mind-wiping madman.
Using forgotten memories as weapons.
It's their only chance. And it all leads to this incredibly difficult choice for Kevin.
What kind of choice?
He could activate a full memory wipe, erase the last month from everyone's minds.
Which would reset everything.
But he would lose all memory of what happened. Or he can keep his memories, but the town remains broken.
A tough decision for a 12-year-old.
You said it.
Yeah.
But Kevin makes a surprisingly mature decision.
What does he do?
He chooses to erase his own memories, to give his town a chance to heal.
That's incredibly selfless. He's putting the needs of others above his own.
He is. It's a powerful moment in the story. So what happens to Willow Creek?
What happens to Kevin?
In the epilogue, Willow Creek is slowly returning to normal. It's as if the whole memory-wiping fiasco was just a bad dream.
But Kevin remembers, right?
Well, not consciously. He has this nagging feeling that something's missing.
Like a forgotten dream.
Exactly. And then he finds a note in his own handwriting.
What did he say?
Never trust a machine that makes life too easy. And never press the red button.
That's some good advice.
Right. But Kevin doesn't remember writing it. He just knows it's true. And as he's walking home one day, He sees something.
What does he see?
The forget-me-not. Partially buried, but definitely there.
And?
The story ends there. Does he pick it up? Has he learned his lesson? We don't know.
It's a cliffhanger ending.
It really makes you think about the allure of easy solutions and the dangers of unchecked power, even in the hands of a kid.
For sure.
So there you have it. Two very different stories, but both exploring the complex relationship between technology, humanity, and the consequences of our choices.
That's what I love about Science Fiction Probe. It's not just about cool gadgets and futuristic worlds. It's about exploring the human condition.
Absolutely. It's about asking the big questions and imagining the possibilities, both good and bad.
And hopefully prompting some critical thinking along the way.
Exactly.
So what are some of the key takeaways from this week's deep dive?
Well, Prime Paradox really throws a spotlight on unchecked capitalism.
And the potential for corporations to exploit emerging technologies for their own gain.
The story paints a pretty chilling picture of what could happen when the pursuit of profit overrides all other considerations, even something as fundamental as time itself.
It definitely makes you think twice about all those targeted ads we see online.
Right. It's like, are we really in control of our choices, or are algorithms subtly influencing them?
And then there's the forgetting machine. It highlights the importance of memory.
Both for individuals and for society as a whole.
It shows how fragile our sense of self is and how much we rely on our shared history and experiences to make sense of the world.
Exactly. It's a reminder that even seemingly small actions can have far-reaching consequences, especially when you're dealing with something as powerful as memory manipulation.
So, both of these stories, in their own unique ways, serve as cautionary tales.
Urging us to be mindful of the technologies we create.
And to consider the potential unintended consequences before it's too late.
Absolutely. Well, that's a wrap for this week's Science Fiction Probe. We hope you enjoyed this exploration into the realm of flash fiction.
And that it's given you some food for thought.
If you did enjoy the show, please rate and follow us. It helps more people discover the captivating worlds we explore.
And until next time, keep those speculative engines running.
And who knows, maybe next week, we'll be diving into one of your favorite flash fiction stories.